Imagine a piece of rock in the middle of the sea that is barely 0.17 square kilometers in size, so small you could walk across it in less than 10 minutes. On most maps, it is nothing more than a tiny, insignificant dot. Yet in 2022, this single coordinate became the fulcral point of a global conflict, a geographic scar that determined the fate of international shipping and the security of the entire Black Sea. This is Zmini Island, better known as Snake Island. It is a place where ancient Greek mythology meets modern ballistic warfare. Welcome back to Tales by Flex. If you're fascinated by the hidden stories that shape our maps, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss an investigation. Today, we investigate how this strategic rock changed the course of a war and why its geography makes it one of the most contested pieces of land on the planet. To understand why nations are willing to bleed for a rock with no natural water source and no trees, we must look at its specific geographic coordinates. Snake Island sits 35 kilometers off the coast of the Danube Delta, at the intersection of vital maritime corridors. Its isolation is its greatest strength. From this single point, a military force can control the entrance to Ukraine's largest ports and monitor every ship moving toward the Bosphorus Strait. It is not just an island, it is a fixed, unsinkable radar station and missile platform in the heart of the Black Sea. Geography First analysis reveals that Snake Island is the key to the exclusive economic zone. Control of this rock dictates who owns the rights to the vast underwater gas and oil reserves beneath the surrounding seabed. For decades, this led to a heated legal dispute between Ukraine and Romania. The International Court of Justice eventually stepped in to draw the maritime borders, but the physical reality of the island remained a strategic prize. It sits as a lone sentinel, guarding the grain corridor that feeds millions across the globe. Its physical composition is a limestone plateau with steep cliffs reaching up to 40 meters high. There are no natural harbors, making landing on the island a tactical nightmare. This geographic fortress was formed millions of years ago, but its strategic importance was cemented the moment modern radar and long-range missiles were invented. To hold Snake Island is to hold the eye of the Black Sea, a position that allows a superpower to project force without ever setting foot on the mainland. The first layer of our investigation takes us back to the Age of Heroes. To the ancient Greeks, this was the White Island, or Leuke. Legend says it was created by the goddess Thetis for her son Achilles. For centuries, it was a sovereign void of a different kind, a sacred sanctuary where sailors would leave offerings at a magnificent temple. Geography here was viewed through the lens of the divine. The island's isolation made it a bridge between the world of the living and the dead. Even then, its position at the edge of the known world made it a landmark that every navigator had to respect. The second layer is the 20th century geopolitical tug-of-war. After the fall of empires, Snake Island became a pawn between Romania and the Soviet Union. In 1948, it was gifted to the Soviets in a move that Romania later contested for decades. The island was transformed into a secret signals intelligence base. During the Cold War, it was a black hole on the map, a place where the Soviet Navy could listen to NATO communications in the Mediterranean. This established the island as a permanent military asset, a role that Ukraine inherited in 1991. The third layer is the 2022 invasion, the moment the world finally learned the island's name. On the first day of the war, the Russian cruiser Moskva approached and demanded surrender. The response from the 13 Ukrainian border guards became a global rallying cry: Russian warship, go F yourself. This wasn't just a moment of defiance. It was a geographic reality.
The guards knew that without air support, the island's isolation made it a suicide post. The subsequent Russian occupation turned the island into a literal fortress of anti-aircraft systems, threatening the entire southern flank of Europe.
The fourth layer is the War of the Rock. For months, the island was subjected to a relentless campaign of geographic denial. Ukraine could not retake the island with troops, so they used the geography against the occupiers.
Using TB-2 drones and long-range artillery, they targeted the supply ships that were forced to navigate the predictable, shallow waters near the island. The Russian military found that holding a rock in the middle of a sea is only possible if you control the water around it.
By June 2022, the unsinkable aircraft carrier had become a death trap for the Russian garrison. The final layer is the goodwill gesture. Realizing the island was untenable, Russian forces retreated, claiming it as a gesture of peace. In reality, it was a tactical defeat dictated by geography. The liberation of Snake Island allowed the grain deal to happen, reopening the shipping lanes that prevented a global famine. Today, the island remains a heavily guarded ruins. It is a sovereign void reclaimed by Ukraine, but its story is far from over. It stands as a reminder that in modern war, the smallest pieces of the map can carry the heaviest weight. This island proves that even in the age of satellite warfare, physical territory matters. You cannot sink a rock. You cannot move a coordinate. Snake Island is a permanent feature of the Black Sea's strategic architecture. Its soil, mixed with the remnants of ancient temples and modern shrapnel, is a testament to the isolation ethic, where a place's value is defined by how hard it is to reach and how much harder it is to hold. It is a geographic scar that has effectively redrawn the security map of Eastern Europe.
Snake Island is a case study in strategic denial. It represents a shift in global conflict, where controlling small, isolated points is more effective than occupying large territories. We see this pattern repeated in the South China Sea and the Arctic. When a nation controls a rock, they control the water, the resources, and the skies around it. This tiny island forced the world to reconsider the importance of maritime law and the sovereignty of offshore territories. It proved that international stability can hinge on a piece of land that is barely visible on a standard globe. Furthermore, Snake Island highlights the energy sovereignty of the future. The Black Sea is home to massive, untapped natural gas reserves that could break Europe's dependence on foreign pipelines. The island is the anchor for these claims. This means that whoever controls the rock controls the heat and power of millions of homes in the coming decades. It is a geographic gold mine disguised as a barren rock. This is the new reality of our world. The stories behind our maps are no longer just about borders. They're about the resources hidden beneath them. So we are left with a difficult ethical question. In an era of high-tech warfare, should we treat these tiny strategic rocks as sovereign territory, or should they be managed as international zones to prevent global conflict? Is the blood spilled for 0.17 square kilometers of limestone justified by the security it provides? Let me know in the comments. Is Snake Island a symbol of national bravery or a warning about the dangers of geographic obsession? I'm reading every response. If this investigation into the strategic secrets of the Black Sea fascinated you, you won't want to miss our next deep dive. We are heading to another forbidden zone, where the map wasn't changed by war, but by a disaster that turned an entire city into a ghost. Next week, the Chernobyl exclusion zone, 40 years later. Make sure to subscribe to Tales by Flex so you never miss a story behind the maps. Geography is the lens through which we view our power, and sometimes that power is anchored to a single rock. I'll see you in the next investigation. Goodbye for now.